Welcome to the John Clamp Show. I got my Week 11 game picks and previews ready for you. And to kick us off, we got the 7th ranked BYU Cougars traveling on the road to take on the 8th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders in a top 10 Big 12 matchup. College game day is going to be in Lubbock for this one. It's the biggest matchup in the Big 12 to this point in the season, and very good chance that this will be the first of two matchups between BYU and Texas Tech, as they appear to be on a collision course to rematch in the Big 12 championship game. This game is very important for both teams. Texas Tech already has a loss. It's going to be difficult for them to get into the playoffs if they lose this one, unless they're able to get the auto bid in the Big 12 championship game. If they lose this one and then lose in the Big 12 championship or don't make the Big 12 championship, it's going to be difficult for them to make the playoffs. BYU has a little bit more leeway since they're undefeated. At this point in the season, they can afford to lose this one and still get an auto bid if they win the Big 12 championship, or they might be able to afford to lose this one and the Big 12 championship, still get in. That being said, Texas Tech is by far the best team BYU will have played up to this point. BYU has some good wins on the road at Iowa State. It is not an easy game to win. They handled their business there. They beat Utah, who's a top 15 team, ranked number 13 in the playoff rankings right now. Beat them 24-21, handled their business there. And they've come from behind in some games, and they've been able to dominate some games. So they've won in all different ways. Their true freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, is a really good player for them, but he has not seen a defense like Texas Tech yet. Texas Tech beat Utah handily in Salt Lake City. BYU beat them by 3 in Provo. Now, transitive property is not applicable in college football. Crazy stuff happens all the time. But Texas Tech is by far the best team BYU will have played, and they have to travel to Lubbock, play Texas Tech on the road. I don't think BYU matches up well with Texas Tech for the first time around. It's really difficult to beat a team twice. If they rematch, maybe they're able to avenge this loss. But for this one, I don't see BYU being able to come into Lubbock and beat Texas Tech on their home turf. I think Texas Tech is getting healthy. BYU is just not quite talented enough to hang with them yet. And I think that Texas Tech will be able to cause Bear Bachmeier some problems with their defense. And I think Tech will win the game 34-24. All right, moving on to another top 25 matchup in Columbia, Missouri. The number 3 Texas A&M Aggies travel to face 22nd ranked Missouri Tigers. A&M's rolling. They're undefeated right now. In all of their road games, they've put up 40 or more points. Their defense is really good. They've been really effective limiting opponents, scoring, and they've just rolled through their slate for the most part to this point in the season. Missouri is a really good team, good defense. They got a couple losses to Alabama by 3 and at Vanderbilt by 7. They did lose their quarterback, Bo Pribula, in the Vanderbilt game, so he will not be playing. He suffered a pretty significant injury in that Vanderbilt game. So they're rolling with a backup quarterback. I don't think this is going to match up well for Missouri. A&M's really good. I think that one area that Missouri is going to have to find success in if they want to win this game is they're going to have to be able to run the ball. Texas A&M statistically has one of the best run defenses in the country, but the way college football records rushing yards, it subtracts sack yardage from rushing totals instead of passing totals. So sack yardage counts against an offense's rushing yards and counts towards a defense's rushing yards allowed. If you take the sacks out of A&M's rushing defense, they're one of the best sack teams in the country. So if you take all of those out, Their straight run defense is not very good. Missouri should be able to find running lanes if A&M doesn't stack the box and force the backup quarterback from Missouri to beat them through the air. I think that's what A&M's going to do. They're going to load the box, trust their corners one-on-one, and make Missouri's quarterback beat them. And I don't think that's going to go well for Missouri. A&M's not going to be worried about playing on the road, and I have the Aggies winning this matchup 31-13 pretty convincingly over Missouri. Next game is another top 20 matchup. The 9th-ranked Oregon Ducks travel to Iowa to take on the Hawkeyes, number 20. Kinnick Stadium is a really tough place to play. Iowa is a really gritty football team. They're going to want to slow the game down. They lost to Indiana by 5 earlier in the year at Kinnick. And as we've seen, Indiana is really good and blows everybody out. So Iowa hanging with Indiana in that game, actually having it tied late into the fourth quarter. Iowa's a good football team. Oregon has struggled a little bit lately offensively. Dante Moore has kind of regressed a little bit since his Heisman start to the season. He's kind of leveled off, has struggled a little bit lately. Oregon defense still really good, still a really talented team overall. The weather in Iowa is something to watch. It's supposed to be wet and rainy, nasty. I think that plays into Iowa's hands. They want to slow the game down, run the ball control offense, create havoc with their defense. And I think that Iowa is, because of the weather having an impact, is going to upset Oregon in this game and cause a shakeup in the top 25. And I have the Hawkeyes squeezing out a victory at home against the Ducks 24-23. All right, final game I'm picking is LSU at number 4 Alabama. LSU is really struggling. They just fired their head coach. The offense is struggling. The defense appeared to be really good at the start of the year, has struggled the past few weeks. Last game they gave up 49 to Texas A&M at home. That's what got their coach fired. Alabama is coming off a bye week. They're rolling right now. 4 straight top 25 wins prior to the bye week. The passing game is clicking. The rushing game still has a lot of room to improve, but Alabama's overall talent, momentum, their mindset right now, they're just clicking everywhere. And they believe in themselves. I don't think this is going to be a good matchup for LSU. It's at Tuscaloosa. Now, LSU, with the interim coach and not a whole lot left to play for, they can still get postseason games, obviously. I mean, they have a winning record at this point. They just don't have a lot of momentum. They're not going to be in contention for the SEC championship game or the playoff. Alabama's still a rival for LSU, so they're going to come out there motivated and want to ruin Alabama's season, or do their part to try and ruin Alabama's season, and also make a postseason bowl game. So I think they're going to come out with some tricks. They're going to come out motivated. They might score early in the game. After that, I feel like Alabama's going to settle in and roll through most of the game, and then LSU might score a late garbage time touchdown to make the score appear closer. Alabama's only favored by 9.5 last I checked. I think that number is a little low, and I have them winning this game 38-20, but with LSU scoring a late touchdown to make it look closer. Even though it's an 18-point margin victory, that still is going to look closer than the game actually feels throughout them playing it. So Alabama 38-20. I don't think LSU is going to really hang with the Tide in this one. That'll do it for my Week 11 game picks and previews. Not a whole lot of big games this weekend for me to pick. The slate is pretty light on paper, but with college football, when the slate is light on paper, that usually means there's going to be a lot of really entertaining college football games, even though they're not big games. It's going to be a really entertaining weekend. That's usually what it means. So looking forward to it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my picks in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the college football content I put out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on the John Clancy Show.